Hello and welcome back to the channel. As always, it's the middle of the week and there's a bit happening in Catland and beyond. Uh, Not good news though. The Catters, unfortunately, not good news at all. We had the bad news that Max Holmes has, what's he done? Torn the meniscus, his knee, I think it is. So he's out for the medium term, whatever that means. So later on in the year. Um, yeah, another medium-term injury for the Cats and another medium-term injury for our future star, Max Holmes, who had an injury last year as well, which kept him out of a fair chunk of the season. So that absolutely sucks. And when I heard that news the other day, it flattened me a little bit uh, for many reasons, because, I was sort of joking that it could happen. Not to Max Holmes, but someone to get injured again, and then sure enough, it happens. And I was like, oh God. And then the others, the Max Holmes, like, can the bloke get a clean run at it? Look, maybe we won't win the premiership this year, but I'm sure he wants to run around and have a kick of footy with his mates. And I wish we stop. I wish the footy guides would stop denying him that opportunity if they could. That'd be great. Probably more concerning though was the news about this young fella, Jai Clark, who has got some stress on his navicular bone. Stress. His navicular bone is under all kinds of pressure and has taken stress leave. But not good. Same injury that Matthew Egan had in 2007. For those younger viewers, Matthew Egan was an all-Australian, all-Australian defender who was flying, absolutely flying in that premiership team of 2007, and played in the last game of the home and away season, landed a bit awkwardly, and didn't play again for the rest of his career. Obviously missed all the premierships and went on to, and he's still around, still at Geelong actually. He's been around the AFL system for a little bit, but he's mostly made his career now as assistant coaching roles and so forth. So I don't think we need to panic. Again, it's just a bit of awareness, a bit of soreness in that area. I think the scans have come up. It's not too bad. He's had some surgery. He's in a moon boot. He's not putting any weight on his ankle for the time being, for a couple of weeks, I think it is. And we'll see what happens. But it's not great. So yeah, he's in the moon boot. I saw some vision of him scooting along on a little scooter with his foot up. That looks like it's going to be his life for the next few weeks, unfortunately. But that's what it is. On a more positive note, though, there's been some talk that we might get some ins this week. Don't know if there's going to be any more outs. At this stage, probably will be. But there's a lot of talk that these three handsome gentlemen staring at you right now, for those watching on YouTube, Sam De Koning, Gary Rowan, and Ollie Henry, are a chance to return. Ollie Henry would be coming back pretty soon. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make it back. But you'd think with Gary Rowan's minor hamstring injury and an eye socket injury, which Sam De Koning had, they should be able to cope with those. Hopefully, if you're going to ping another hamstring, well, you're going to ping another hamstring. I don't know. I mean, how many weeks off do you need? I think was Gary Rowan round 7? Yeah, God, he had 4 weeks off with him, with a bit of hamstring awareness. Unless we didn't get the full story, and Sam De Koning's probably coming back around the time I think the club and we all thought that he was probably going to come back anyway. So hopefully the 3 of those guys get named. Teams come out, I'm guessing tomorrow, being Thursday. So we'll wait and see if all of those 3 get named. There might even be a surprise 4th. There might maybe 2 of these guys get named. I wouldn't be surprised if the axe gets swung a little bit. 2 losses in a row. But yeah, we've got to cover the loss of a couple of players as well that have, Max Holmes, a big one. Another one from the engine room that's gone, but what can you do? There's a couple of guys that are still coming back from injury though, or there's 4 actually. I couldn't fit Mitch Duncan in here, but he's another one. Danger may not. Who knows? So vague. Some of these injury reports coming back from the club, but saying he might come back for the Bulldogs game just before the bye from his hamstring. I'd be surprised if the club took that risk. maybe the club's like, well, do we have the luxury of being overly cautious at this point in the season when we've got 5-5 on the ladder? I don't know if we can. Maybe we just got to get wins, and if we do another injury, we do another injury, and that's the season that was. Cam Guthrie's big toe. I was joking that it was his little toe, but looks like Simon Lloyd was saying the other day that it is his big toe. So he's. I don't have any confidence that he's back anytime soon. Wouldn't be surprised if that was well after the bye, but you just don't hear anything about that. Maybe it's one of those ones that's hard to know. Hopefully, it gets to a point where he's like, well, I'm just going to have to play with it if the pain doesn't go away. If you can't get him right, we can't afford to spell him for 16 weeks or something ridiculous like that if he's able to play through the pain. The Reece Stanley one's an interesting one. Yeah, we need a ruckman, Geelong. We need a ruckman, and Jonathan Segler's doing his best, but he's not really at the level. And Stanley will probably come back and be very rusty, and we'll be saying bring Segler back in. But if we can get Stanley back at 60% of game time or something like that soon, that'll be good. Hopefully, if not this week, then next week. In an ideal world, that'll be the way to go if we can. Please. Can we get a ruckman? We need a ruckman. We need something. There's a massive milestone game this weekend for the Catters. Jeremy Cameron plays his 50th for the Cats against his old mob at GWS. So there's another fella, Toby Green, playing his 200th, but we won't worry too much about that. But no, Jezza, 50 games, that's gone quick, hasn't it? Considering he's missed a fair bit of footy as well. So third season at the club. I think he's starting to get over some of his injuries now. Although there's a bit of talk that maybe he's really struggling with something that we don't know about at the moment. He's just pushing through the pain. His last fortnight hasn't been top shelf by his normal lofty standards. Let's hope he finds that form again. He teases us, doesn't he? He kicks 8 goals one week, and then you don't see him for a couple of weeks after that. So I don't know if he's. I don't think he's picking and choosing when he plays at the moment, but yeah, it was a bit of a worry that Fremantle made him look pretty ordinary last week. Maybe Freo's a good side, and the ladder maybe is not reflecting where they'll finish at the end of the year. Maybe they'll go on a run and finish top 4, and we'll be all surprised to come to the end of the home and away. I don't know, but maybe Jez is just having an off. He does have these off games, so. It could have been another one of those potentially. So yeah, as I said, Toby Green, all the 10 GWS supporters that are at the game, they'll be celebrating that nice and hard. And Steel Sidebottom is playing his 300th too. I think I can't remember who Collingwood's playing, but yeah, that's another big, I guess, milestone for him as well. Just lastly on Cats news for the week, we've posted. I think the last update with the membership was 76,635. So that's not too bad. Again, I don't think we're going to nudge 80,000. I think we were hoping to get there, but trying to find another 3,500 between now and was it June 30? I don't know if that's when the cutoff point is. Goodness me, but something's going to have to go very, very, very right for that to happen. I think the way it is at the moment with 5 and 5, I don't think you're getting too many more. We'll probably tick over 77. Maybe get 78 with all these home games to come. There's still a few on the way, but we'll see. Outside of the Geelong though, the Catters, we all heard the news by now, or you've been living under a rock if you haven't. Damien Hardwick has resigned effectively immediately from the Tigers, so he's going to take some time away from footy. Don't really know what he wants to do just yet, but a lot of talk, a lot of speculation. That he'll walk straight into another job as early as next year. And I've cheekily added a little pic of Michael Voss there, the Carlton coach. Lots of talk that maybe Carlton's already approached Hardwick or had already approached Hardwick before he made his decision. So I don't know about that one. But there'll be a few other coaches that are a little bit nervous as well. I think you might find that you've got Stewie Dew. Is Alistair Clarkson coming back? Would he step into that North role? I doubt he'd step into a North kind of role. What if Hinkley wants to come? Ken Hinkley wants to come back to Victoria. That might free up a coaching spot back at Port Adelaide, where Hardwick won a premiership. So there's that possibility as well. There was one other team that escaped me for a moment, but yeah, I think there'll be a few opportunities there, and I think you'll start seeing some movement in clubland very, very soon. Uh, Mark Pitternet from Carlton, just as we close out the show, was given a 4-year contract just the other day. So, what does that mean for Tom De Koning possibly coming to Geelong now? I don't know. There's been so much talk about this. Maybe he won't end up at Geelong. He could end up somewhere else. But I'd be shocked if he was still with Carlton next year, considering everything that's gone on. I just don't see it happening. And anyway, so yeah, big week in Catland, big week in AFL footy. I think the biggest thing for me really was just the Max Holmes thing and the scary news about Jai Clark. Hopefully, that's not as bad as what it could be. It's a shame. He plays a quarter of footy, then he's gone again. And Max Holmes, we really needed that guy, but it wasn't to be, sadly. But what are you going to do? Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. And comment. And I'll see you on the next one. Go Cats.